You've been lied to your whole life. They told you that to get rich, you need to be smart, that you need a fancy degree, a high IQ, or to be some kind of genius. But look around. Some of the wealthiest people in the world, they weren't straight A students. They didn't crush school. Some even dropped out. So what did they have? What's the real trait that separates the rich from the broke? It's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's something else entirely. It's something you can build. And once you do, your entire life changes. Let me be clear, being smart helps, but it's not required. Because the world doesn't pay you for how smart you are. It pays you for how much value you create, how much risk you take, and how long you can stay in the game. You don't need to memorize useless facts. You need resourcefulness, resilience, and the ability to execute. That's what gets you paid. That's what builds wealth. Not being the smartest in the room, but being the one who moves. Take a look at real millionaires. They're not all tech geniuses or financial wizards. Many of them just had the courage to start. They tried, failed, learned, and tried again. That's the pattern. They weren't waiting to be perfect. They were willing to look dumb, take action, and figure things out as they went. Most people won't do that. Most people are paralyzed by fear. Fear of looking stupid, fear of failing, fear of what other people think, and that fear keeps them broke. Meanwhile, the people getting rich, they're experimenting, they're building, they're learning on the go. They're not worried about being smart enough. They just show up every day and outwork the rest. It's not sexy, it's not complicated, but it works. And you can do the same. Here's the truth. The single most underrated skill in wealth building is consistency. Showing up every day. Taking action even when you're not sure it'll work. Posting that video. Sending that cold email. Launching that product. Learning that new skill. You don't need to be brilliant. You just need to be relentless. You need grit. That's what wins. Think about it. There are smart people working jobs they hate, living paycheck to paycheck, doing everything by the book. They followed the system, got good grades, went to college, got the job, and they're still broke. Why? Because they never learned how to create value. They were trained to follow, not to lead, to memorize, not to think. They waited for permission, they played it safe, and the system rewarded them with just enough to survive. Now look at the so-called dumb kids, the ones who couldn't sit still in class, the ones who were told they'd never make it. Some of them own companies now. Some of them make six figures from a laptop. Why? Because they stopped playing by the rules. They figured out the game isn't about being smart, it's about being bold. This is the mindset shift you need to make. Being rich is not about how much you know, but how fast you learn and how fast you act. You can Google anything. You can learn anything on YouTube, but none of it matters if you don't execute. Knowledge is potential power. Execution is real power. The people who win are the ones who do. Let's talk about action, because that's where most people lose. They consume all day, videos, books, podcasts, but they don't apply, they don't start. And the truth is, every single one of them could build wealth, but they're waiting for the perfect idea, waiting to feel ready, waiting to be smart enough. And while they wait, someone else is out there making moves. Here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not that you can't get rich, it's that you won't do what it takes. You'd rather look good than look dumb trying. You'd rather be comfortable than risk failing. But guess what? Growth doesn't live in comfort. Success doesn't come without risk, and wealth doesn't come without discomfort. You need to get uncomfortable. You need to move before you feel ready. Let me say this again. You don't need to be smart. You need to be obsessed. Obsessed with learning, obsessed with growing, obsessed with figuring it out. If you're willing to fail in public, take messy action, and keep going even when you suck, nobody can stop you. That's the cheat code. That's the truth they never taught you in school. And here's the best part. This is a skill. Grit, discipline, resilience. These are trainable. You're not born with them. You build them. Every time you take action without knowing the outcome, every time you show up when it's easier to quit, every time you choose long-term growth over short-term comfort, that's how you build the mindset that creates wealth. You don't need to be gifted. You need to be dangerous. And dangerous people aren't dangerous because they're the smartest. They're dangerous because they're willing to do what others won't. They're willing to outlast, outwork, and outlearn anyone. That's you if you decide to be. So stop telling yourself you're not smart enough. That's just fear in disguise. You're more than capable. You just haven't decided yet. Decide now. Decide to outwork everyone. Decide to learn whatever you need to learn. Decide to move even when it's scary, because wealth is not reserved for the gifted. It's reserved for the committed. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait until you're ready. Start now. Fail fast. Learn faster. Execute relentlessly. That's how you win. That's how you escape the system. That's how you build the life you actually want. And the best part? You don't need to be smart to do it. You just need to be unstoppable. If you're still stuck thinking, I'm not smart enough to get rich, let me break it to you. You're focusing on the wrong metric. Intelligence doesn't build wealth. Execution does. Drive does. Obsession does. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to win, even if you're starting from zero, even if you failed before, even if you've never felt smart a day in your life. Because wealth isn't about being a genius. It's about mastering simple things most people ignore and doing them with insane consistency. Let's start with this. Success isn't complicated. It's just boring. The daily grind, the late nights, the sacrifices, that's not glamorous, but that's what works. Most people chase hacks, secrets, and shortcuts because they think they're not smart enough to play the long game. But the truth is, the long game is the only game. If you can stick to boring habits, learning, building, iterating, you'll beat 99% of people who quit because they're chasing dopamine instead of results. Step 1. Pick a skill that makes money, not one that sounds impressive, not one that gets applause, one that solves real problems. Copywriting, sales, editing, coding, social media marketing, e-commerce. Pick one and stick to it. Don't jump around, don't get distracted. Go deep. Obsess over it for 6 to 12 months. Master it. Not because you're smart, but because you're consistent. The world rewards depth, not dabbling. Step 2. Sell that skill. Don't overthink it. Start with people you know. Reach out to strangers online. Offer free work to build a portfolio. Make noise. Document your journey. Build credibility in public. Most people fail because they never put themselves out there. They're afraid of rejection, afraid of judgment. But guess what? Wealth doesn't care about your feelings. The market rewards those who show up loudly, consistently, confidently, even if they have no clue what they're doing at first. Step 3. Reinvest every dollar. Most people make $1,000 and blow it. You need to be different. Use your early money to buy leverage, buy better tools, buy courses, buy mentorship, invest in speed. Time is your most valuable currency. If you can collapse 5 years of mistakes into 6 months of action, you win. That's not about being smart, that's about being strategic. Big difference. Step 4. Build systems. Eventually, you stop trading time for money. You start building things that pay you even when you're asleep. A YouTube channel, a digital product, an agency, a newsletter, whatever fits your skill set. But you only get there by doing the unsexy work up front, by getting good at one thing, by proving you can deliver, then turning that into systems, content, or processes that scale without you. Step 5, stay dangerous. What does that mean? It means never becoming soft, never settling, never assuming you've made it. Keep learning, keep pushing, keep taking risks. Dangerous people don't relax when they win, they scale. They go harder, they train like they're losing even when they're ahead. That's how you stay rich, that's how you never go back to broke. Not by being smart, but by being obsessed with growth. Let's kill a myth right now. People think they'll suddenly feel confident once they succeed. Wrong. Confidence comes before the success, not after. You build it by keeping promises to yourself, by doing the work when no one's watching, by showing up even when you suck. And over time, your brain learns, I can handle this. That's confidence. It's earned, not gifted, not taught in school, built in silence, built in the dark. And while we're here, stop romanticizing struggle. You're not meant to just survive, you're meant to thrive. But that won't happen by waiting for permission. Nobody's coming. Not your boss, not your parents, not some billionaire savior. This is your life, your game, and you win by playing full speed with whatever you've got. It's not about perfect timing. It's not about having all the answers. It's about movement, motion, momentum. Here's a cheat code. Out-learn and out-execute everyone around you. That's it. That's the formula. Learn faster, do more, iterate quicker, fail forward. You don't need to invent the next iPhone. You don't need to raise VC funding. You just need to take your skill, solve a real problem, and deliver value at scale. Do that, and your income will skyrocket. Slowly at first, then all at once. But only if you stay in the game long enough to let it compound. Money is a lagging indicator of value. If you're not getting paid, it's not because you're not smart. It's because you haven't created enough value yet. But that can change. Today, right now. The moment you decide to stop making excuses, the moment you stop waiting to feel ready, the moment you realize you don't need permission to win. So let me be blunt. If you're broke, it's not your IQ, it's your habits, your focus, your environment, your execution. Fix those and your results change forever. That's the truth they don't want you to hear. Because the second you understand how simple this game actually is, you stop playing small. You stop being afraid. You stop settling. And when that happens, you become dangerous. Not because you're the smartest in the room, but because you're the hungriest, the most consistent, the one who refuses to quit. And in the real world, that person always wins.